Okay, so this section has got a lot in it. We're going to cover vulnerability, and we're going to look at troubleshooting, step 2, and how to use humor. Then we'll take a break. So this is an important section. So you've seen so far how to go from the opener, the pre-opener, the opener, transition into screening and qualifying, qualify 2 pieces, and I already started you on a deep connection about family. All right, so you shouldn't have any blanks about what do I do after the opener, or how do I talk to her. Right? I've already given you things to say. Again, the things to say, I'm being very basic about it because I don't want them to get in the way of your emotions. Right? You want your emotions to carry, your emotions to transfer. All right, so we're going to look at vulnerability now. So this is where it's a deeper connection. You don't want to do this in a club where there's a lot of distractions. You want this to be a place where you can concentrate on each other, and she can project into, she can visualize and imagine things. You want it to be in a relatively relaxed environment. Okay, honesty is the key here for vulnerability. I mean, the fact that you're opening up and exposing yourself with all the weaknesses and all the disadvantages that you have, and all of the the foibles and shortcomings that you might have, are what actually attract people, because people want people who are real. They're attracted to authenticity. So get real. All right. Honesty is a great aphrodisiac, as a friend of mine has said. But you want to do it selectively. You don't want to always be the bleeding heart. So don't just go out and tell everybody how pathetic you are and make it a confession. This is where, after you've gotten to know each other for a while, you've done some getting to know you type of surface level screening and qualifying, you found out where she travels and arts, or maybe her favorite music, or something like that. Then you want to do something that's deeper, right? When you're doing this, always remember the traits of the ideal man. What are those traits? Easygoing confidence, assertive confidence. You're a leader, leadership. Being sexual, and being adventurous, right? Being fearless. Okay, those are the traits of the ideal man. When you're speaking about your vulnerability, secrets, or your stories, you need to display these traits as much as you can in the stories themselves. Okay, so the first one you're going to do is secrets. You want to share secrets, right? Men bond not over secrets, but over shared experiences. This is why on the battlefields, traditionally, that's where men bond, when they put their lives on the line for each other, and they know that they have to depend on this other guy next to them for their lives, because if he doesn't do his job, they're going to die. Right? So that's the ultimate bonding experience. If you fought side by side with a man in battle, I assume, I've never done it myself, but it seems like from all the studies and from what I've heard, that you've basically become friends for life. Right? This is historically been taken away from us as men, for those who haven't had to do battle. So instead we play paintball, or we go bowling, or we go climbing together, or we go pick up chicks together. Those are all actually bonding experiences. That's how men bond. Women don't bond so much over shared experiences. They bond instead over shared secrets. That's why in the TV show Sex and the City, a major theme is the four girls sitting around a table at the diner or for breakfast, and they just share gossip, and they gossip a lot. And that's what brings them together. They share not just gossip about other people, but gossip and secrets about themselves. All right, so you're going to use this. Now that you know this, that women bond not over experiences, but over secrets, you're going to help her bond with you. You're going to allow her to bond with you by getting her to share secrets with you, and you share secrets with her. By sharing secrets with a woman, she'll feel closer to you, like the way she feels with her girlfriends, her close girlfriends. And you can do this very quickly. This is like accelerating the entire courtship process. This is why myself and my clients generally will get from meet to sex and then convert into a girlfriend within 4 hours. Sometimes it might take 10 hours, but in general, this is very quick because we're accelerating the whole process. You might need to do a little transition because it might feel artificial, and that's because it is artificial in many ways. You're mimicking the courtship process, so it's going to feel a little bit jarring. You could just no transition it and just go straight into the question. The question itself is this. And this is a question I made up myself, so feel free to tweak it. Tell me a secret that no more than 10 people know. Not including the people involved, just a secret that no more than 10 people know. Okay, that's the question itself. That's the bald question. if you just ask that out of the blue, obviously it's going to be like, no, I don't want to tell you. So what I do when I first start the deep vulnerability pieces is I say this. Look, I really want to get to know you better, but we don't have that much time. I really want to get to know you better, but we don't have that much time. This is almost like a time constraint, so it'll make more sense. I really like to get to know you better, but we don't have that much time. So tell me a secret that no more than 10 people know in the whole world, not including the people involved. She's still going to say, no way. And I'll say, okay, fine, I'll go first, but if I go first, you got to go, okay? Don't leave me hanging. I'll go first, you got to go. Pinky swear? All right, great. And now you tell your secret, okay? Make it sexual. And it's best if you can put in as many of those easygoing, adventurous, assertiveness, leadership, sexual traits as you can. Once you give yours, she's going to give hers. Right? So now you're ready for the $1,000 secret that I've never actually said on recording ever. And this is the one that basically if I tell it to a girl, it's over. She's going to be my girlfriend or she's going to want to have sex with me right there that night. Don't use it because it's mine. But you can craft yours around it. So when I was in China a while ago, now a very long time ago, I hooked up with this fuck buddy. We had just met 2 weeks prior, and we dated during those 2 weeks a couple times. And she was, it turns out, when I met her, she was working in a beauty salon. She was a manager there. But then halfway through that week, the 2 weeks, she became manager of a sauna. Have you ever been to a sauna in China? Xiyu. Ever been to one of those? No? You know China? Okay. So a sauna in China, half of them, it seems, are actually like brothels, right? So the one that this one was actually quite big. It was in the suburbs in the north of Beijing, and there were 3 floors. The first floor was reception and the change rooms and the big baths, because it's like a bathhouse, like a hot spring. So they'll have gigantic baths of different temperatures, and it's just a communal bath thing. The second floor is where the kids are. Like, they bring whole families to this. I know, crazy, right? So the kids are up there running around. They get foot massages. You can watch DVDs on a big screen. You can order popcorn. You can eat food. They have a little restaurant, and there's a buffet. So that's where the families hang out. If you go 1 floor up, that's where the private massage rooms are, where they bring girls in. They have tags, and you just pick one. And then you have a special massage. Okay, so this is kind of weird. I don't really feel safe telling you this. She's like, no, I want to know. I'm like, all right, don't judge me for this. But she was working for this place, and they they got some new girls in. They got a batch of 24 girls from the countryside. Well, not the country, but like more north in Beijing. And they were young, like between 18 to 20 years old, 24 of them. And they were getting a lot of complaints, because these girls, many of them, it's kind of sad, but many of them have not had sexual experience very much. So they were getting complaints going on top. They were getting complaints about, they have to do this blowjob thing, which is like, they call it the fire and ice. And at this place, they had a special, they added 2 others. So fire and ice is, I know this is weird, right? Yeah, fire and ice is where she takes hot tea and she puts it in her mouth and then she goes down on you. And then she takes the other cup, which is ice cubes, put that in her mouth and goes down on you. And then they also added those jelly things that come in the, you just rip off the thing and it says jelly in it. There's a little fruit. You guys know the Jell-O cup thingies? So she puts 3 or 4 of those in her mouth and goes down on you, so Jell-O. And then the last one is this Rice Krispie kind of thing, so it goes pop, 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 when it hits heat. So she's just throwing in these Rice Krispies, and they just start popping on your thing. And it's hard to do, I think. I've never done it, but they were getting a lot of complaints. Like the tea would just go streaming down her face, or get on the rest of his body, or they'd make a huge mess, and he gets really pissed, and they complain, and they get it for free, which is horrible for the house and for the girl. And then the last complaint was they have this red rope thing. So this place had Thai bars on the ceiling, Thai massage bars, where usually they just hold it and step on you. But at this place, they draped this red rope. And basically what the girl does is she hooks her legs over it, and she's upside down, and she clamps on your dick, and then she just spins herself around. And then she lets go, and you just like, boom, boom, on top of your dick. And of course, this is very difficult. It's like an Olympic sport. And these girls they had horrible body control. They didn't know, and it was like there's a lot of biting going on. So they were practicing on dildos, and I guess it wasn't working, right? So she said, look, they're all saying like, look, we need to practice on we need live feedback. But it's not fair to tell these girls to just go have sex with a bunch of guys for free. So they came up with the idea that if they all had sex, well, they all did it with the same guy, then it wouldn't be so bad. And if the guy was like the mama-san's lover, it'd be even better. Because, you know, he's like part of the in-group. But he's not there every day, so they don't have to see him, you know, when they're passing him in the hallways. They didn't want to grab one of their own employees. So my lover, she called me up, she's like, hey, can you help us out? I'm like, yeah, sure. So basically, they just popped me full of Viagra. They came in shifts of, I think it was 3 girls per hour, and so each day would be 4 hours, because that's how long Viagra lasts. So I popped the Viagra, wait half an hour, and I start the first shift. The shift would last about an hour, where she'd go over. We did blowjob first, then on top, then we did the red rope. So there's 3 girls plus the mama-san, and that was great. And then I take an hour in between, a shower, and then go back and do the next shift. But seriously, after the blowjobs, right, and then we went on top. About halfway through, it was like 6th day, I'd already been with them all pretty much, and it was tiring. Like just having sex with 6, 7 girls a day, and just being full of Viagra. I don't even think that was the limit. I mean, I think I exceeded the safe limit, medical limit, on the pills. So I think I was just like feeling shaky, and you know, and then it got to the point where I even couldn't get it up so much with Viagra. Like I had to make out with my lover and with my fuck buddy while they're on top, and then there were some jealousy issues toward the end. So I was halfway through. I was on the phone with my buddy in Seoul. He was in Korea, Seoul, and it's like, dude, man, I can't do this shit no more. It sucks. I gotta go again, man, later today. He's like, I feel like quitting. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Take it, man. Take it like a man. Do it for the team. Do it for me. So I was like, all right, man. So I went back, and there was jealousy over who I finished with, because she said I could finish, you know, but I got to pick the girl. And I found out very early on that that's a bad idea. So if you don't want your fuck buddy to get mad, you don't want to pick another girl to do it with at the end. So then I started ending with her, which is nice. And by the end of it, I just didn't want to see them again, like, you know, for a while. And then they said I can come back for free anytime. I did go back like twice just to hang out. And then we actually became pretty good friends. I kept seeing that girl for like about a year or so. And there's some more stories about how she got me in trouble with the mafia. I tried to buy her out and all that stuff. But no one knows about that except my buddy in Seoul and the girls. So, and you. Okay? All right, so what's your secret? And then after that, they're like, I don't have a secret like that. I'm like, anything. And then get ready, man, because a lot of hot girls have experienced sexual trauma. They'll open up about getting abused by family members, or maybe by teachers or their guy friends. It's really bad because she's hot, and when she's young, she's vulnerable. That's a pretty common experience among beautiful women. You might get these negative stories. I'll show you, like I showed you how to go over the death. You want to bring it back out, like death in the family. Bring it back positive. Pace the reality and bring it back positive. You could also just change the subject. Like pace the reality, switch the subject. You also get, just be ready. Be ready for anything. You also get girls who ran away from home when they were young, maybe had an abortion or something. You'll hear a lot of crazy stuff. Don't ever lose your cool. Be mature, right? Remember, be a leader. You're cool with sexuality. You talk about it like you're a medical doctor. It's no big deal. You're adventurous. So she says she used to shoot up and do drugs in the club when she was 14. Okay, you know, it's not the first time you heard that. Maybe it is, but don't make it look like it is. Or, because then you're going to make her feel bad, right? You want to display the ideal man traits as much as possible. So that's the secrets. If you know how to do the secrets well, then you'll be able to do the next 2 very well as well, because it's basically the same format. So again, if you just did secrets, you don't have to start off with the transition, but you could do the same transition if you're starting with the childhood secrets. So the next one is called childhood regression. And this is where you're going to get her to relive this moment in her childhood. And you're going to give her an emotional roller coaster because of it. Now, the secret itself is already something, like if she's honestly doing it, it's something that only 10 people in the whole fucking world know. And you've been dating for how long? 2 hours. Within 2 hours, she's telling you things that only 10 people in the whole world know. Why do you think she's going to form this deep, serious connection with you? She will, after sex, want to see you again and again and again. Because you've got this deep connection already within a couple of hours. Right? And you have to also be ready to open up. Right? Okay, childhood regression. Say this. Okay, tell me the most embarrassing moment in your childhood. The most embarrassing moment, humiliating moment. And again, she's going to say, no way, I'm not going to go. And again, you say, okay, I'll go first, but if I go first, you got to promise you're going to go. Right? Pinky swear. Okay. And then you give yours. And then the next one, you don't have to do all three, of course. But another one you could do is, what's the most frightening moment in your childhood? What's the most frightening moment? I'll give you an example of how to do this so that you're not honestly doing the most embarrassing moment. Because maybe the most embarrassing moment was when you shit your pants in grade 6 and the whole school saw. Okay, that's embarrassing. Don't want to tell her that. That's disgusting. Right? Think of an embarrassing moment that also displays one of the 5 ideal man traits: easygoing, adventurous, assertive, leadership, and sexual. Right? So for instance, let's say, let's do scariest moment. So one of the scariest moments in my life, I was at summer camp, and at summer camp, kids in the afternoon, we just do, it's open time, free time. So I played volleyball a lot, beach volleyball. My little sister is 4 years younger. She likes to swim, even though she doesn't know how to swim. So kids were swimming. Now, this was in a particularly rainy year. So during the off season, there were a lot of weeds that grew up in the lake. So in Singapore, I don't know if you have lakes to swim in, but in North America, it's a different climate. So the bodies of water often have reeds coming out from the bottom. And they're long, tangly, thin reeds, and you can get wrapped up in them easily. They can wreck motorboats, the motors in boats. So you can't go too shallow with your boat, and you definitely don't want to swim in them. So they marked off the area around the pier that you could swim safely, but that's too shallow. It was like literally, like if I went in the water, I'd be up to here only, right? So the kids wanted to swim in deeper water, and the long pier went out to the edge and over the edge of the swimming area. And I'm playing beach volleyball, and I hear my name being yelled out at me, like, Dave, 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 come, come. So I'm running over, and they're like, Joy, she's in the water, she's not coming up. And apparently, I found out later she had ran off and then dived in, because some other kids were doing it, but they were okay. So I had just, I'm not a good swimmer, but I was so freaked out, I just ran in and dove in after her. Luckily, I grabbed her and pulled her up, and then turned her over. And by that time, the lifeguard had come. The lifeguard was at the pool. They weren't even, didn't even have a lifeguard at the lake. But they got her CPR and she was all right. And that was, you know, I would do it in a longer fashion than that. But the delivery would be different. But that's the story. And notice how the story has a lot of attractive traits in it, right? I'm scared because my loved one is going to possibly die, and I rushed in there, you know, and I did my best, and that was like, whew, that was the scariest time for me. Okay, so you want to tell a story like that, right? That's not like the scariest moment was when I thought there was a ghost and I was just peed my pants and it was horrible. And don't tell those really embarrassing stories. Okay, we're going to take a little break here, take a little stretch break, and then we'll dive into troubleshooting step 2.